With this, are there plans for this to go anywhere else? Because obviously,
No.
as you say, that's it. It
No, that's
exists
it.
now, but
3 weeks, and that's your lot.
okay. But the very Scottish setting. Can you see this being a production that can travel? Well, I suppose I've already talked about the Slab Boys in Spanish.
But how often does that happen? And it very rarely happens. Certainly very rarely happens with me now. That stuff is done elsewhere.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
I have no commissions for plays from anywhere. It's sad.
They're shocked.
It's shocking.
And is that an unusual sort of...
This is my last commission. It probably is my last commission. You can't commission yourself. I mean, I'll possibly write another play, but God knows when and for where. Where do you do a play now? I don't know. I'm very glad Mark Thompson commissioned us some years ago.
Do you go to the theatre much?
Yeah, we go to the theatre all the time. Yeah. I'll tell you, we went to see Jerusalem. Jez Butterworth's Jerusalem.
You can't get seats for love nor money these days.
You cannot. It finishes this weekend in London, the West End. It started off at the Royal Court. It's fantastic. It's the best play I have seen in my life, ever. Totally
so
wonderful.
Just hope it will be filmed.
We were on. I see, a film is not the same.
Yeah.
You have to see it live in the theatre. And we were on our feet. The entire theatre, Apollo Theatre, were on their feet. And they took 8 curtain calls. It's sensational. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes of absolute joy. It's absolutely wonderful. I haven't seen anything like it in, I don't know, 40 years.
And starring Mark
Totally
Rylance, who
brilliant. Mark
spent many
Rylance,
years
who
early
is-
on at the Glasgow Citizens.
He did indeed.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
So clearly theatre still excites
God,
you, both as a
isn't it? I like it.
practitioner and as
There's
an
nothing
audience
like
member.
theatre.
Can you remember the first piece of theatre that you saw?
Try to remember the first piece of theatre I saw.
Or maybe the first
Ever.
piece that excited you?
Used to go to the Citizens a lot, but I slept through every production. I was always so tired, I slept through everything at the Citizens. They were always wonderful. Try to think of... No, well, the thing was I never ever saw, and this was, in hindsight, I never saw anything that engaged me or had anything to do with me, or anything to do with the kind of life I led. And that wasn't what prompted me to write. I just wanted to write for the theatre. But until I wrote a play, I never saw myself or anybody like me on the stage, at an earlier stage in my life, ever. It was too alien to me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a Scotland I recognised at all.
And that fact would have put off other people from writing. Do you think that world is closed to me?
No, I didn't think it was close to me at all. I just wanted to make people laugh in the theatre, and obviously make them laugh and other things as well.
Had the urge to write been there for as long as the urge to paint and draw?
Well, it was there from very early on, because I used to listen to the Wireless a lot. And I used to do little parodies of things.
You would write them? I
would write them down. And obviously entertain one another. You do bits, from local newspaper, stories from the Paisley Express, and all that kind of stuff. You just lived for laughter.
Yeah.
Laughter and fun and nonsense.
So would radio...
Is still the case.
Radio be the medium then, and what presumably you went to the pictures as well?
We went to the pictures all the time,
mm-hmm.
Aye. So we'd never seen anything live on the stage at all, apart from... Funny enough, I saw Maureen's dad, Johnny Beattie, because they went to see the Black Diamond Skiffle group at Paisley Theatre, which was Joe Gordon, and Johnny Beattie was the comic, and that was 1956, I think. We were 16, we went to see the Black Diamond Skiffle group, and that was Johnny Beattie.
Because obviously there's that rich seam of variety,
yeah,
which we're so lucky to have in Scotland.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful. It was full of life.
Now, are you writing a musical?
I'm writing the book for, as dear say, two different kinds of musical. Yeah, I've written the book for one, which the songs are being written for now, and I'm writing the book of another one, which is a back catalogue.
Do you want to tell us more about the songs or the era?
Well, I grew up with a guy who was a slab boy, and he's got a brother, a younger brother, and he himself writes songs. The former slab boy, right, has been writing songs for 40 years. And there's a piece called Underwood Lane, one of them. And it's set in Paisley in 1950 something, 57 or something. That's all I can tell you.
That's all you can tell us. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other
one is I'm still working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's quite exciting as well. But it's a different kind of theatre altogether. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you say that, it's just interesting to talk about Johnny Beattie and that variety tradition. So different kind of theatre. Can you give us any clues as to?
I think it's populist theatre, mm-hmm. Popular theatre. So it's a different thing from writing something that's. It's not writing to order, but it's a particular audience in mind. You know, which I don't understand at all. So maybe it'll never appear, but because I'm not that kind of. I like convolution and things to unfold as opposed to a kind of there's a story and it goes narratively from beginning to end.
But I mean, there was Tutti Frutti when the National Theatre put it on, people dancing in the aisles.
I know that's true, but that was 6 and a bit hours condensed into 2 and a bit hours. Mm-hmm. So you had to go up. We decided Tony County. Where is Tony County? There he is there. Whereabouts? Up at the back somewhere. Oh, he's waving.
He's waving.
There he is. Turn around and hail that great chap there. And Tony, between us, we decided to go for the narrative thread, which was the best plan. But it wasn't on television. It wasn't a narrative thread. There was people used to say of the stuff I wrote, there's no plot. And you thought, of course there's a bloody plot. There's a plot going this way and that, like a jigsaw. They can't understand anything. Well, they couldn't then understand anything other than a straightforward, plot that went like that from beginning to end. And I entertained myself by writing something that was much more convoluted and people get it. You must never underestimate your audience. Never, ever. You do that at your peril. That's why the musical thing might never appear. People aren't daft. Are very, very bright. I know that from going to the pictures when we were wee. We used to sit there, we'd be 12, and the whole picture house was full of wains. Well, people of our age, 10, 12, 13, 14, something like that. And we'd go in any time, you go in the middle of the wee picture, you see that to the end, and you'd have the news, the cartoons, Pathy Victorio, the adverts, and on to the big picture through that, and then they start the wee picture, and you just joined the two things up, and then you went out.
Yeah.
And you can't, not one child turn to the other and says, what's happening? Mm-hmm. And that's when you're 12, and you're watching grown-up pictures. No, we're only watching children's film. Mm-hmm. That's what I learned. You never, ever, ever underestimate your audience. People know what's going on. They do. They're brighter than they think. Yeah.
I mean, Tutti Frutti is extraordinary. I mean, I know you're saying, well, I've got no commissions now, but it must be slightly infuriating that the Tutti Frutti legend continues in so many ways, and there's also still this big question of it not being shown again in the telly. No, we keep reading about it, and yes, no. What's the latest?
Sure. I have no idea. I don't have a television, so.
Did you watch the original then?
The original, yeah. I watched the original, but since then, I get fed up with what it is. Just eats your life up.